Hey, so today I'm gonna show you really quick how to make a super easy dinner. It's like the easiest meatloaf in the world. You're going to need stuffing. They say 1 pack, but I had like bigger packs. So this is like 3/4 of a bigger pack of stuffing. I have a cup of chicken broth, 1 egg, a pound of ground meat of your choice. I'm using ground turkey. You're gonna need ketchup and brown sugar. You're gonna need a loaf pan, and you're going to need a mixing bowl, and you're gonna need to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. So first things first, you're gonna wanna make the topping that's gonna go on top of the meatloaf. Sorry for all the noise, my kids are playing instruments with their dad in the background. You're gonna need ketchup and brown sugar in a ramekin of some sort, and you're gonna wanna mix it up till it's all smooth and try to get as many of the chunks out as possible, and try not to make as much of a mess as I'm making. Get that all done, and you're just gonna set that aside. I just like to do that first because you're gonna get your hands, if you're like me, you're gonna get your hands dirty later, and then you're not gonna want to be touching the ketchup bottle and all your brown sugar because that's not clean. So I have that, and you're just gonna set that aside. So next, you're gonna have your bowl, and you're gonna put your ground whatever in it. Mine's ground turkey. You're going to add 1 egg. You're going to add the stuffing, and I've used this was the collection of the leftovers of 3 other bags of stuffing, so that's why it's in a Ziploc bag. And then you're going to add in the cup of water or chicken broth. This time I'm trying chicken broth because I think it'll add more flavor, but we'll see. And then you're gonna mix it up. So this is what it's gonna look like after you've got it all mixed up. Ground turkey, or at least my brain, gets pretty soft when it's room temperature or whatever, which is what I got it to, and that's why it looks so soft. But when it bakes up, it just bakes up normally. So you're gonna transfer this into your greased loaf pan. Okay, so after you have it put in your loaf pan, you're gonna cook it at 375 for about 40 to 45 minutes, depending on your oven. And if you have a convection oven, you could even do it in less time. And if you bump up the temperature, which I have done before as well, you could bump it up to 400 degrees, and you can even do it for even shorter time. But the way that I like it at best is at 375 for a little longer time, because then you get it's more moist and it's not as dried out at the edges. But if you're crunched for time, you can do it in less time other ways. So I'm gonna put this in the oven at 375, and then I'm gonna take it out at about, if I'm cooking it for 45 minutes, I'm gonna take it out at about 35 minutes or 30 minutes maybe, and then put the brown sugar ketchup mixture on it, because the longer you do it, the more it's going to caramelize. But I don't like to put it on at the very beginning because I don't want it to burn. So I'm gonna do it later on, and I'll come back when I do that. So with my meatloaf, I'm going to be making mashed potatoes and green beans. And in my mashed potatoes, I put potatoes boiled and cut up, salt, pepper, butter, and sour cream. And I just beat those together until it's smooth. And that's pretty much it for that. So over here, I have frozen green beans in a pot with a bunch of butter. And I add salt, garlic powder, and onion powder to these, and I cook them down to basically nothing, because that's how I like my green beans. Kind of like caramelized onions, where they're just cooked down. I don't like a lot of bites in my green beans. So these are gonna cook down for quite a long time. Okay, so I've taken my meatloaf out to add the brown sugar mixture, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to put this down. So I can do this with 2 hands. Alright. And you're just gonna spread it around, get it on all the edges, and all over the top. And then you're gonna put it back in for the remainder of the time. and hopefully caramelizes really well. This is what it looks like from the top. So we're just gonna put that back in now for, I believe, another 15 minutes. So everything's done. The meatloaf turned out great. The green beans are cooked down like I like them, and the mashed potatoes turned out awesome. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you give this recipe a try, comment down below, and if you aren't already subscribed, click that button, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.